Hello, Feral friends. Welcome back to Feral. I'm your host, Savana, Montana, and today we have a very special guest here with us. This 6'6", built like a Greek god, mammoth strength trainer that is a dear friend of mine. Well, he's coming to be more of a friend as we sit here and go on and on about all this health and fitness stuff. He's also a father of 4 young boys, all under the age of 12.
13 now.
Under the age of 13. He's going to talk to you guys about, about how much stronger you are than you think you are. So welcome to the den. And Ed Williams, how are you today?
I'm amazing.
Yeah?
I'm excited to be here talking to you. So how can I not be amazing?
Good. I'm amazed. I'm amazed that you're amazing, and I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you for being here with us today.
Of course.
How's everything going? You're decked out in purple.
It is. I'm a colorful guy. You said we're something that's representative of your personality. Mm-hmm. So here we are.
Here he is. He's all in purple, and he's got blue stud earrings in.
Gotta have blue.
Gotta have blue. That's his favorite color.
Gotta have some blue.
We're gonna test you guys later to see if you know all about Ed Williams. So you're currently in the evolution phase of your life.
Yes.
How does that feel right now for you? What does it mean to be in your evolution
it's like not
phase?
being on stable ground, but it's also exciting, right? Because evolution requires change. It means change. It means whatever it is that you've done up to now or who you've been, it's like chipping away at those things that are holding you back. So like you said, dead weight versus dumbbells. Well, this evolution requires letting go of the dead weight. So picking up more dumbbells, letting loose of more of the dead weight itself. So I feel the same way. So it's happening in my career where it's like, what are you going to evolve into? So the 20-year-old version of me was one thing within this career. But you get 23 plus years of experience in, you shouldn't be doing the same exact thing in the same exact way you were doing it before. It requires an evolution in some ways. Now you might be mentoring. Now you might be doing things at a much higher level because now you have a lot more experience, a lot more knowledge, a lot more education when it comes to those things. I'm now a father of 4 boys. Mm-hmm. If you caught me 13 years ago, I was a father of 1, right? Yeah. And so being the father of 1, being the father of really young boys is different than all of a sudden I have a teenager, I have another one who's going on 12. They're growing. So evolution as a father has to change because I can't parent them the same way I did when they were kids. So you have to evolve when you're doing that. So it's this constant becoming as a husband is an evolution that's taking place in there. So it doesn't matter what area you pick up, whether it's professionally, and then personally, you look in the mirror and you're like, who am I now? Mm-hmm. Right? That's one of the toughest questions for most men at any age. So I'm 44 now. It's like, well, so who are you? Aside from what you do, who are you? And oftentimes we never answer that question. So now in this phase of my life is answering that question and looking at yourself differently and saying, because how you perceive yourself will dictate what actions you're taking or not. So I'm looking at actions that I hadn't taken or didn't take yet. Say, okay, why? Right? Because there's a perception that you have of yourself that's keeping you from taking the actions that you need to take. That requires an evolution. Right?
Yeah.
That requires a growth, a level of discipline, a level of really being willing to let go of the dead weight and chip away so that you can. I always tell my kids this. It's like, look, you can't make a mango seed an apple tree.
Nope.
Right? So you're never creating something new. But if you chip away enough things that are blocking you from exposing who you really are, so when you talk about feral, it's, well, who are you really? Mm-hmm. Because this who you've told yourself you were or who you've been told you are, and at some point you question that.
Yeah.
So is this who I really am? Or just who I've been. And if this has just been who I've been, then there's so much more they can evolve and actually become. And so it's that particular phase of thing is like, have I been doing these things because it was expected of me? And if it wasn't, then what would I really actually do?
Yeah. Was there a person or I'm sorry, not a person. Was there a point when you stepped into this evolution phase that you looked at the old version of Ed and decided this is not who I want to be anymore? Or were you asking so many questions? Was it an uncomfortability? Was it, it was an uncomfortability?
It's who you have around you matters. So uncomfortability. And then sometimes you have people around you that remind you who you really are. So I have a brother, and he's always like, if something happens, he's like, put your crown back on. And you have to have somebody around sometimes, because life, you could go through life and you can start to think that things are a failure, that not really a failure, or you can be hard on yourself. And do you have somebody around you that's like, hey, put your crown back on?
Yeah.
Right? It's who you are, put your crown back on. And so that'll keep you growing and evolving if you have the right kind of people. For me, that's my brother.
Yeah.
Right? We are really that close where I'm going to do that for him, he's going to do that for me. And it's just being honest with each other and be able to receive that honest feedback from somebody, especially as a male. Males don't necessarily have males around them that you can, as women would say, let your hair down and be really honest. And when you do, it's an absolute blessing.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
So
amazing.
for me, it's my brother.
Yeah, it's amazing that you have a person like that in your life.
Oh, yeah.
So many of us don't, or some people do and they just don't realize that they do, and they don't nurture that relationship. So the fact that you know who that person is for you and you hang on tight and you nurture that relationship is really important, because in any of your down moments, you know exactly who you're going to call.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And who you call in those down moments dictate how you come out of it.
Yeah, you're gonna get out of that a lot faster when you call him than if you called anybody else.
Well, you're going to get out of it anyway. Just how are you going to come out of it is going to be the key part of that there. So that evolution is pushed forward by a lot of those things. Life changes, and you're evolving. If you're with somebody, they're usually evolving. Kids are growing up. So you start looking at life through a different lens. You start seeing things from a different way. And for me, a lot of it is like you can look in the mirror and say, there's more.
Yeah.
Right? Because most people think, oh, you've reached your pinnacle, but only you can answer. Are you scratching the surface? Have you really tapped into your potential? Is that all you have, or is there more? And so you have to answer that question, and you're the only one that can do that honestly. So people can look from the outside and say whatever, and you can look in the mirror and say, you know what? Yeah, there's more. And it makes me think back to something I was called years ago, and they meant it as like something really good. They're like, oh, you're the best kept secret. And the first time I heard it, I was like, oh, that's amazing. And you go along the way a little bit longer, you're like, the best kept secret is not a good thing.
No.
Like you can't touch very many lives.
That's right.
You can't evolve, and you can't even take care of who you're supposed to take care of and become who you're supposed to be if you're holding on to, I'm going to be the best kept secret.
No.
It's like there's nothing. So it's that sits with you, and after a while you're like, that's terrible thing to be called. I don't ever want to be called that again.
Yeah, you're like, that was meant to be a compliment, but it's actually a huge insult. I love that you said that too, because I think part of my show and being feral and being unapologetic about who I am and inspiring other people to do the same, I give out all my secrets. Whatever I'm going through in life, like I'm here to tell on myself. I'm going to show you how I got better or how I'm screwing anything up. I give it all away. Yeah. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to make an impact. So yeah, you don't want to be the best kept secret. You want here are all my crazy, deepest, darkest secrets, even the ones that are from my past self or the person that I've evolved into now that I wasn't 10 years ago. I was a shitbag 10 years ago, but I can talk about it now because I'm so far from that version of her, of myself.
100%.
So, but that's part of the secret is just giving it away.
You got to give it away, but you got to go through some of those things, right? Like you can appreciate where you are now.
Yes.
Because you have something to compare it to.
Exactly.
Right? Like everybody throws all that stuff away. What would you change? Maybe you learn those things faster.
Yes. Speed?
Speed, just
a little bit more speed.
Instead of 10 years, 2 years, let me figure that out.
That would have been nice. Maybe not repeat
there.
the same relationship
4
times. If I could have just had one of him, that would have been great. Would have been plenty.
It's him, not me. And then you go, it's me, not him. Okay, that's where you can change it.
Because the universe, God, whoever, will keep serving you the same relationship or the same people or the same opportunity and see how you handle it differently until you learn your lesson. Until you learn your lesson, you're going to repeat the same opportunities because you're not learning anything yet.
You're not learning, and you get a lot of your expectations. And if you realize, expectations are a big, big deal. Mm-hmm. Like you attract certain things just based on expectation, just based on who you are, and you repel other things. And so there's things that people won't do around you, not because you said something. It's just something about you. I'm like, I was just talking to a client today. I was like, look, you want to be known as peculiar. And he was like, I was like, well, when you're peculiar, that means you're either reacting or doing things that are outside of the ordinary. And it makes people curious, right? So if chaos is breaking out, everybody's running around, and there's one person so calm they almost look like they're sleeping, that's the person everybody's wondering, like, what does this guy know or what does she know that everybody else that's running around here like mad people don't know? That's peculiar. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, you want to be known as a peculiar person. So when you're trying to change your habits, when you're trying to get healthy, when you're trying to take charge of this, if you're not a peculiar person around the same group of people you used to be when you were unhealthy, they're not really evolving. You're not doing anything different. But once you become peculiar, then it's like, oh, what is he doing? Why is he doing that?
Yeah.
So that's how I put it to him. You want to be peculiar.
Yeah, I like that. That's different, but a really good point. Is there any, or was there any point in this evolution phase that you're going through that you were confronted with that scared the shit out of you about yourself? Because you have to be honest with yourself when you're evolving.
You got to be honest with yourself when you're wondering. It's honest conversation when I looked at myself and said, who are you becoming? And is that what you want?
What was your answer?
It was hell no, but I was confronted. I was confronted by my brother, my mother on occasion, right? Because, he's about 2 years younger than me, and he'll always tell me all these wise things sometimes. He'll say something, he was like, where'd you get that from? He was like, you. I don't remember telling you that. You. And he says it often enough, and I was like, I told you those things. Yeah. So it's for me, it's a blessing to have somebody around there that reminds you. It's like, yes, even if you're going through this phase now, this is still you. This is the real you is still right underneath. You might have covered it up with a couple of things, shed it off, right? So it's like in fitness, so people are like, well, I want a six pack. I'm like, everybody's got abs. Some people have more layers of fat over it, but they're there. We didn't cut out your abs. They're there. Mm-hmm. But are you willing to get rid of the layers of fat that will allow you to now expose the abs that are under there? And so he's been around me like an irritant, and you need irritation sometimes to be reminded or to continue to evolve. And that irritation is a lot of what keeps me going, because he'll ask me really hard conversation, like really hard questions that you really have to answer.
Yeah.
And if you're honest with yourself, you're not happy with what you see in the mirror, you're confronted with, this is the version of me that's shown up right now. What do I need to cut away to then expose who I really am?
Mm-hmm. Is there a specific question that he asked you that really stuck with you that you did not like the answer that you gave yourself? Obviously, there was a few, but if you want to share, you don't have to.
Yeah, let me think about. Yeah, I'm trying to think through that. Like, what was that specific question? Well, are you proud of the person you see in the mirror?
Which breaks my heart, because if your answer was no, you're such an incredible person. But
surprised.
What you think of yourself is what matters. It doesn't matter what anybody else 100%. Thinks.
You'd be surprised at if people actually answer that question honestly. Mm-hmm. There are periods of time where the answer might be no.
Yeah.
Right? Because you've either allowed yourself to be, you allowed yourself to be put in a box, or you've allowed yourself to take on the image of who it is that other people say you are. It's like when I talk to women sometimes, they always say I was fragile and I need to be protected and I need to. So then their entire life they function as a fragile individual until they then start training and realize, and I've literally had women say, I didn't realize how powerful and strong that I was. Because my whole life I was told, be careful, she's fragile, she's this, she's that. And so they took that on. That became their identity. And until you expose people to something different, that was their identity.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, the problem that you have when people like go through fitness is there's a point at which some people are kind of getting in shape, but they still haven't taken on the new identity. So they still see themselves as that old identity. And it becomes this friction. Which one of these people am I?
Yes.
Everybody's going to go through that at some point.
Oh, I've been through it. I'm going through it now because I noticed that when I'm around certain people and certain people from my past, there's this wall. There's like this layer of, I have to hide who I am now because of the judgment of how far I've come. Yes. So I don't revert back to who I used to be. I just mask the fullest version of myself around 100%. Those people because you can feel the energy shift. 100%. You can feel the judgment, the looks, the comments, just on the energy between it. So I don't want to make other people feel uncomfortable, so I dim myself down. And which is horrible. I literally, I tell people not to do this, and I'm guilty of doing it. I don't know if you've ever been in a situation like that.
I do this all the time.
Oh, okay. So I'm not the only one.
No.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
It's a very real thing.
We have to stop this, Ed.
It's a very real thing, right? Because my size makes people uncomfortable enough, especially other men sometimes. So you try to do that so you don't hurt people's egos, so you don't make them feel a certain way. And in doing that, you're not necessarily helping them.
No.
Right? But you think you are. In that time frame, you actually think you are. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm helping this person by, I don't want to make them feel stupid or smaller or less in shape. Like, I don't say a word walking in rooms sometimes and people start to, and they got to tell me something about what they're doing that's so amazing. And I'm like, I didn't say a word.
Didn't ask.
I didn't, but they have to prove something. It's that ego. Well, since I'm not in shape, I got to tell you how much money I have, what kind of car I drive,
which is also an excuse why they feel like they're not in shape, because they're so devoted to this other exterior thing that actually has zero correlation whatsoever.
Zero.
Yeah.
They just have to try to make themselves feel better in the moment.
And also when you're in that situation, as I know the same uncomfortable situation that is, we're also hurting our relationship with ourselves
100%
by allowing to put other people's feelings, needs, comfortability in front of our own, because now we're telling ourselves it's not okay to feel this way. Okay. We have to dim down to make somebody else feel more comfortable. Yes. And that's wrong. That's just wrong for our relationship with ourselves.
Yeah, because you're not being authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
and then you don't feel good, and then you're like, I don't want to hang out with these people because I don't feel good. I don't feel good about myself when I'm around certain people. And why don't I? When you dig into the why and you get layer, then if you're anything like me, I don't put myself in situations like that anymore. Very seldom. I'm in a situation where I have to do it next week.
Right.
But I keep to myself. I surround myself with people that are
I'll do the opposite.
You force yourself into it?
Yeah, sometimes it's good.
Well, if you're going to challenge yourself to keep your promise to yourself.
You challenge yourself to do that. Mm-hmm. And sometimes the reaction of other people and how uncomfortable they are, it's actually quite fascinating if you can just sit back and observe.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they don't know why they're so uncomfortable. And sometimes you don't have to say a word. So it's like, if your sheer presence makes this person that uncomfortable, maybe that's the impetus or the irritation that brings about change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because they have to ask, why? Why does Savannah bother me so much? Why does her presence bother me so much? Did she say something? Did she do something? More times than not, it's no. But why am I so uncomfortable? That's got nothing to do with Savannah. Mm-hmm. And everything to do with something happening internal with them. Mm-hmm. So if you don't, it's like a pearl. A pearl is not produced until the irritation takes place.
It's true.
No irritation, no pearl.
Yeah. Very good point. We have to be irritated to become pearls, ladies and gentlemen.
100%.
So you had a pivotal moment way back in life. Not to make you sound super old, because you're not, but you had a knee injury when you were in high school, and that kind of changed everything for you. So can you tell us a little bit about that experience? Yeah,
so going through, I was in high school. Football was my main sport. I got hurt the last game in basketball season. And at first they said, it's no big deal, sprained knee. I was like, sprained knee, cool. We can roll with that. Mm-hmm. And that got misdiagnosed, more than once. And, all of a sudden, maybe a month and a half, 2 months later, I'd been going and like my knee would give out every so often, but it wasn't painful. And so they finally did the MRI that I'd asked for originally. that they said wasn't necessary, and like, oh, you have a torn ACL. Now, I don't know what that means. I'm like, what does that mean? This is my junior year going into senior year. I'm the captain of the football team. I worked this hard to be right here at the pinnacle. Senior year is coming. This is going to be it. And I get hurt. I think I had surgery maybe April or May, whatever it was. But whatever it was the timetable. They were like, this is a 8 to 9 month recovery. I remember sitting there in the doctor's office. I start calculating the months. I'm like, no, that's impossible. Football season is like 5 or 6 months from now. I ain't got 8 or 9 months. Like, hey, doc, somebody better figure something out because this time frame ain't going to work for me. Mm-hmm. And so sitting with the realization that you work this hard, it's my senior year, I'm captain, I put all this time and energy into this moment that I may never get. And that's hard as a 17-year-old.
Very.
You know, I didn't talk. So it was a blessing and a curse. Well, not a curse, but it's a blessing in some ways. But I didn't talk to very many people for about 2 or 3 months. And the thing that saved me the most was strength training. So it's the reason why I believe in it so much. Because it's the only thing that got me out of that level of depression, and most people didn't even know I was depressed. But I was the one that talked to everybody. Like, people see me talk to, all of a sudden, just kind of disappear. Mm-hmm. Didn't talk to my mom, and I would talk to her every day. And so I just had to, it was a lot to try to handle with no real understanding. It's like, why me? I'm a good person. I'm a good kid. I'm going to church. I'm doing all the things. Why? Like, the one thing that I really have that much passion and joy and love for seems like it's being ripped away from me. It's like, but why? And you can't understand that at 17, trying to figure out, why is this thing taken away from me, or I feel like it's being taken away from me at a time where I feel like I'm just about to hit the mountaintop.
Yeah.
Recruiting has started. Things are going. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go. So for me, it was a pivotal moment for a lot of reasons. It's the first time actually having surgery. It's the first time having to go through rehab. And then I felt like I understood what it was like on that side of things, having to go through the rehab. And most people think rehab is just physical. But even when you're finally, your physical body is healed, there's some mental scars, there's mental hurdles that you have to get over because there's a fear around that limb. There's a fear around, am I ever going to be like I was before? Can I ever be better than that? If you talk to a lot of high-level athletes, you see athletes get hurt all the time. Sometimes they never come back better, and it's not a physical issue. So I've been able to help tons and tons of athletes and people, and that's why I push so hard for strength training, because it got me out of depression, but also it's a tool that people can actually really use to do some phenomenal things with their body, like preparation, and go do some phenomenal things with their body. And so it was the first time even thinking through wanting to have any interest on physical therapy or rehab or helping somebody through that side of the process. And so that's what kind of got me to go off to college and try to study physical therapy.
Yeah. So your identity it kind of plummeted.
Oh, plummeted.
Big time.
Big time.
How long did it take you to start to see the spark of happiness again? How long was that transition for you from 17?
Whew. Wow. Initially, it took years. It took years. And I thought I didn't think it did. But I realized it took years after I blew out my second knee.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And how did that injury happen?
I was in a basketball tournament. Guy ran into me. Snapped another 5 ligaments in my right knee. So first time it was 4 in my left knee, and then it was 5 in my right knee at a time where I was like, oh, I'm going to go try to play pro sports overseas. So I'm going to go maybe try to pursue football again at a higher level. I'm going to go and in that quick moment, I remember laying on the ground. My brother was actually at the game, just in town visiting. And I'm having a great game. I mean, I'm going.
You're doing even better because he's in the stands.
Oh, he's in the stands. I'm like, just rock and roll. Like we are.
Let's go.
And you hear the sound of it from the top of the stands, and they actually thought a bone snapped in half. That's how loud it was. And I remember sitting on the floor at that moment just calculating all the things that I probably have to give up at this moment for sports. And so that's when I realized it was like going through that second one, I was like, my identity was so much in being an athlete that, I had to let go of football for a while, but I was like, well, I'll go off to college and play basketball. I had a great basketball career, in the Hall of Fame in high school. I'm in the Hall of Fame twice in college. And so after college, all of a sudden I blow that second knee, and it's like, I didn't realize how closely tied into my identity being an athlete really was. Like, there was a lot of pride in being an athlete because of what that represented for me, what that represented for my brother, just who I was as a person, was Ed the athlete. That's all I'd known from 7 to 8 years old.
Wow.
Right? And to be honest, it was my outlet because I was kind of an angry kid. It was either that or fight.
Yeah.
So football gave me a healthy outlet where I hurt quite a few kids, but it was all
got away with it.
It was all legal.
Yeah.
They said, you can hit this kid or any of these kids as hard as you'd like within the whistle. Great.
Where do I sign?
I could be as reckless as possible. The first time I got hit for real, a coach said to me, welcome to football, son. Here's the name of the game. Hit or be hit. And in that moment, I said, okay, I'll never get hit like that again.
It only takes one time.
So it gave me a healthy outlet as a kid to just get those feelings out, get that aggression out, get whatever rage that was there out. And you couldn't do that with almost any other sport. You go do it in basketball, technical fouls, that was part of it. It was like, it was the way that I let all those things out.
Yeah.
But that led to strength training. And that's how I get it out. It just became the next tool. The difference is I could see the fruit of my labor. Train hard, you do it consistently. I was like, oh, all of a sudden you got muscles I didn't have, got bigger, got stronger. You see yourself in the mirror differently. And I was like, all right, I could dig this. And so that pulled me out of it. But then it took me years before I realized how deeply rooted that identity as an athlete really was. I mean, it was years later. So that would have been probably 8 or 9 years.
Yeah. Wow. Holy cow. That's a hot minute.
Yeah.
But like you said, you don't know it when you're in it. You have no idea. No. You think that you're already over it. You think you already surpassed that.
100%.
Was there any moments where you were telling yourself, God is telling me to stop playing basketball?
After my second surgery.
Yeah.
I was
done.
about 2 months from graduating with my master's degree. I was like, I did my undergrad. At this point, I'm thinking I'm getting ready to play. I mean, I'm big, strong. I'm in great shape. I'm ready to go. I remember sitting after the second surgery. I was like, maybe I'm supposed to use my brain more than my body for the next stage of life because I want to be able to run around with my kids when I'm 30. And I've seen plenty of guys just go through enough surgeries and retire and can't do anything.
No. I mean, even with like professional bodybuilders, some of our favorites, they can't walk today because of what they did to their body. Or I loved football growing up, big football family. I don't even watch football anymore after the whole kneeling of the flag thing. I know I'm the girl that never got over it. I can't get around not standing up for the national anthem. That's just the kind of American that I am. But I have not watched football since then, and I used to love football. Knowing all the injuries and even having friends who have played in the NFL, I hope that my sons, I don't have sons yet, but when I do, they don't want to play football because I don't want to damage their brain.
My sons are not allowed to play football.
Thank you. See? Okay, I'm glad that I'm not the only one. Yeah, flag, fine. But I don't want that impact on their brain, like on their head, some people. I mean,
I underwent it, so I know firsthand what it's like, and I started at 8 or 9.
I was going to say probably 8 years old. Yeah.
You shouldn't be having that kind of impact.
No.
That early, and nobody's really teaching you. They try to teach you how to do it well, but impact is impact is impact. Like I've had concussions, and I couldn't even understand it until I was studying physical therapy in college. I had concussion in high school, and I was like, all the stuff that you're not supposed to do, I did. Went to sleep, everything else. I mean, I
Yeah.
broke my helmet. I broke another guy's helmet. I'm like, and everybody's like, yeah. Like, absolutely.
Because they
You see what
glorify
I did?
it.
It's glorified.
Yeah, you're like a
Yeah,
hero.
listen.
You're like a superhuman.
That's
how you're treated,
yeah, you
especially
smash
as an
people up.
athlete. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
But you love that too, because it feeds your ego and your pride and your
Oh,
strength.
how can you not?
Yeah. Anybody would. Anyone would fall into that. I would.
Well, the respect level is incredible with football. If you're a guy like outside being a quarterback or something else, look at the guys most respected in football. Those guys are hit.
Yeah.
Those guys are really hit. Those are dogs.
Yeah.
Right? Like everybody likes a dog. I tell my kids all the time, be a dog.
Be a
Like,
dog,
don't be
yeah.
no. Be a dog or don't do it.
Yeah.
Anything. But like so dogs are respected. So in football that's what it was. Hit or be hit.
Hit or be
Who's
hit.
bringing it?
Yeah.
Right? So when you take all those things away from to like a 17-year-old, it can be dangerous because then who am I apart from that?
You told everything that your identity was wrapped into the sport that you played.
Oh, 100%. The main sport.
The main.
I played other sports, but I didn't care about them as much.
Yeah.
But you take away the main one, it's like, and you look at pro athletes. You know how many guys struggle after retirement? That's why some guys stop trying to retire. Because think about it, professional sports. You retire in footballs, 27, 28. Think about that.
Well, any kind of athlete.
30?
Look at gymnasts, look at dancers, look at boxers, look at any sport.
20s?
You get they're
30?
shocked if you're in the sport after 30. They usually kick you out of it.
Think about that.
I'm going to be 30 next year.
How much life have people lived by 30? You're retired.
That's wild to me.
Your identity has been this thing for how long, and then you're retired, and you're expected, like, if you were any good at anything you did, the cheers, the crowds, the accolades, the camaraderie. Tom Brady was like, nothing replaces being in the locker room. I'm like, I know what he's talking about. Going home, being a dad, all those things are really important. Nothing replaces being in the trenches.
Wow.
Nothing replaces being in the trenches, right? So that's why a lot of guys struggle after retirement. Women too, they just waffle. Like, what?
And you got to keep going.
And do what?
Right. Anything to keep your brain going. Like one of our friends from the gym, he recently retired, and he's like, you can tell he's not loving it. He's like, I got to do something. I can't just have all this free time. It's not good. Me on idle time, I went through a huge depression period within the last year before I started the show.
It's hard.
Taking time to find myself and take the time and do whatever is not a good place for a Savannah to be. Some people can rock it. Some people
I don't think most people rock
down,
it.
depressed, can't figure shit out.
I've never seen people rock it.
It takes a special type of person. And I'm not that special.
They're usually busy doing something. Because most people that sit around and have nothing to do with their day, we take moms, for example. Take stay-at-home moms. I've trained a lot of them.
I'm sure.
And I just watched one go through it recently, too. All of a sudden, when all the kids go off to college, now what?
They have to go through an evolution, whether they like it or not.
Everybody has a license. Every Friday night has been Friday night football from the time they were this age, and now they're off at college. Now what? What is Friday night now? When you no longer have to run around getting them to activities, now what do you do? Who are you? Your identity has been getting everybody where they need to be.
Being a mom, yeah.
Food, this. They're gone. Now what?
For you, I'm curious, do you have advice, like not because you're a woman and not because you're a mom, but you do have a wife and she's the mother of your children, for women that are in that period or they have kids at home? Maybe you tell this to your wife, have something outside of your relationship with your kids or being at home. I mean, she works full time.
Everybody should be an individual.
Yes. I'm so glad that you said that, because I think that lacks in a lot of relationships. People think, well, this is the role that you play in my life, so this is your wheelhouse. everybody has to have something of their own.
Everybody has to have something.
Because that's what keeps them going. And they're a better version of themselves for you and your entire family and anybody that's within you or around you by having that thing of their own. If they don't have it, when any of that's gone, if people get separated, if their kids go off to school, if they're alone at any point and they don't have their own thing, they don't know who the fuck they are.
So when in doubt, I tell people go train.
I like it.
Because you can train from now until the day that you drop out. I could be 105. I can find a way to train. Mm-hmm. That's my plan.
Yeah.
Right? But you learn who you are in the process of doing that. Mm-hmm. You learn train, like really
at any
training.
age.
Really
any age.
And when I say training, and I go through this all the time. Most people are showing up to a gym working out. It's fun. They think they're trying to accomplish a goal, but they have no idea the roadmap to do that. But once you start to train, that means you're on an actual plan. You're tracking your metrics. You're tracking, am I getting stronger? You're tracking your progress. That's training. There's not much as inspiring as seeing progress. My logbook, I'm getting stronger. I'm getting better. Look, even before you see it. So it's like a conversation I had with my son recently. I said, look, when you if you take a mango seed and you stick it in the ground and you put dirt on it and you water it, do you see it grow right away? No. Do you know it's growing?
If you track it.
If you track it, you know you're making progress. You don't even know it's growing. But all of a sudden, by the time it actually comes through the dirt, you know how much growth took place? The foundation that took place dictates how big that tree can grow. Mm-hmm. So all this tracking is, well, I don't see my body yet. Well, keep tracking. Keep progressing. Because as long as you're progressing, that's the roots going down. Mm-hmm. And the bigger the tree you expect to have, the bigger the roots, the bigger the foundation you got to put down. So you'll learn a lot about yourself when you are challenged physically in some way, shape, or form. Some people go out and run 100 miles. Like, cool. I don't need to do that.
No.
I can find that same challenge some other place.
Yes, that's right.
But
I need to run my mind 100 miles before I need to run my body. That's the mind game that I'm playing with myself right now. I'm trying to master my mind. I'll spend the rest of my life doing it, but that's why I just never get bored.
Yeah, just master your mind. Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm never going to master the running thing. So I don't pretend to do that.
No.
But it's the same kind of thing. It's like, you got to find something to do. Mm-hmm. Go volunteer. You have to find something of your own to do so you have some identity outside of just if you're my wife or if you're a mom. Like you have to have who's Savana outside of being a wife or a mom.
Yeah.
Like you got to have those things.
Yeah, I agree. So you're really passionate about strength training. This is like your number one. You can't live without it. It is totally your thing. 100%. So what does strength mean to you now after being in the business of strength for 23 years?
Continuing to progressively challenge yourself over time. Like, because if you can do that, you'll always get stronger. And so it's just a metaphor for life. Like life, if you're not challenging yourself, you're not going to grow. In the gym, if you're not challenging yourself, you're not going to progress. So to me, strength training teaches you a lot of those same things. It's like there is no progress without progressively challenging yourself a bit more as you go along. So to me, it teaches people those same kinds of things over and over and over. It's like, yeah, you want to get stronger? There's a level of discomfort that you have to be willing to undergo consistently and long enough to see the fruit of that.
That's right. Briefly, you touched on it a little bit earlier about how women feel around their strength. Right.
Yeah.
So what do you wish that more women knew about their own strength or their potential of building more strength?
I wish more women actually understood the power of strength training, for one, what they were truly actually capable of from a physical perspective, because it would change their mindset about who they are, and stop fearing muscle.
You think a lot of your women clients are afraid
because
of
most
muscle?
people say, well, I don't want to get bulky. I don't want to lift weights. I don't want to lift heavy because I don't want to get bulky. And they're not synonymous.
No, they're not. Ask me how I know. I've been bulky too, but I will take heavy weight any day of the week.
Right, because heavyweight is not what makes you bulky.
No.
What you put on your fork and your spoon is what makes you either bulky or not.
That's right.
It's not the weights themselves. So everybody blames the weights for what their habits are producing. And we've fed that, the media has fed that to women because it's like being strong is not feminine. Because you said it earlier. I want to be, you could be feminine and be really strong.
Yes. Yeah. And you can be really strong and not have massive muscles. The strongest that I've been, I was super lean, but I was all muscle.
Because strength is over here, hypertrophy and putting on muscle is over. They're not one and the same. So it's like if you deal with somebody who's like a gymnast, who's in when I'm training a gymnast, for example, they have to make a certain weight, but they still need to produce more power. They still need to have more ability, be able to produce more force. So relative to their body weight, they have to get stronger, but they can't get bigger. Yeah, that's where getting a lot stronger. You can get much, much stronger without getting much bigger. So like relative strength is a real thing. So there's just a lack of understanding in terms of how powerful it really is to actually get stronger. It's like the first time you see a woman do their first chin-up, their first real unassisted chin-up, there's not that many feelings like it, because you see the true exhilarating and excitement where it's like, I did that. And it's like that one of those things that they tell girls just can't do chin-ups anymore.
I know, and it pisses me off. I can. And it takes a long time to figure out how to get your body to be able to do that. But my trick was doing it every single day. With every single workout. At the end of every single workout, I have to do pull-ups and chin-ups every single time. That's how I learned how to do them, because I wasn't allowed not to do them. And then you take off the assist, and then you hold yourself up and you decline. And then eventually you pull yourself up. And then if you can pull yourself up once, you have to pull yourself up once every day. And then you just add more and more and more. And then before you know it, you're a bitch who can do chin-ups. It's fabulous. Right? So I know what feeling you're talking about, because
it still never gets old. Anytime I witness it, it's just as real as anybody else's, because you can't ever go back. You can never see yourself differently.
It's like losing a six-pack, which I've done, and now I want it back. But because I know I can get one, I have to have one again. And I know what it takes to get there. You have to do it every single day.
Yes and no.
Yes and no. Like, I'm not saying...
But what you're saying is things have to be done, right? So,
yes.
But it also gives people the inspiration to go do what they need to do outside of the gym. For example, chin-ups are what we call a strength to body weight issue. Either you're not strong enough or you're holding too much fat mass. So until those two coincide, so you actually have to do both things at the same time. You have to get stronger and change your body composition at the same time.
Yeah.
Both have to happen.
And when you do, especially when you lower that body composition, you can do more reps. Yes. And then when you lose a rep, you're like, okay, I know I'm losing reps because I'm getting heavier, not because I'm losing the muscle. For me, that's how I felt.
Let's use the right word.
Yeah, what's the word?
If you're getting fatter.
Yeah. The F word.
If you're getting heavier because you put on more lean muscle mass, you'll do more chin-ups. When you lose chin-ups, that means strength to body weight ratio is off. So that means you put on more fat mass. You didn't put on more muscle. So It's a way that I determine myself, hey, if I'm losing chin-ups, or if I'm getting heavy, if I gain 10 pounds and my chin-ups are still just as good, I'm like, okay, I put on muscle.
Yeah.
So it's an easy way to say, hey, did you put on muscle or did you get fat? So it's really fat. Fat don't fly, as I always say. Fat don't fly.
Fat don't fly. You hear that, everybody? If you want to fly, we gotta lower the fat count. It's so hard for me to say that word. Antonio knows why. What do you say to any of our listeners who are feeling weak right now, mentally or physically? Men, women, doesn't matter. Anybody who's feeling weak.
Go strength train. Just take action. Like, this is because if you start, this is the weakest you'll ever be. Right? And nothing changes until you take action. You can't think your way to, you're going to overcomplicate it. You're going to make it far more complex than it needs to be. For some people, it's like, stand up, do those 10 squats, do some push-ups, do some sit-ups. That's probably more than you've done for weeks, years, months. Like, so you got to start somewhere and you got to take action and actually start to do that. And it doesn't have to be as complicated as people actually think. At some point, do you need to refine it? Yes. But when you have zero experience, just getting started, your body is going to adapt to. Right?
That's
so
right.
That's the simplest way. Just take action on doing it. Like, you will never regret taking action on actually physically getting stronger.
Yeah, that's really good advice. And yeah, if you don't start, you're never going to get there.
Yeah.
So you might as well just start. It doesn't, but like you said, it doesn't matter how small.
It doesn't.
It just matters that you start.
It matters that you start.
On anything, business, relationships, life, fitness, anything you do, you just have to start doing it. That's the trick. No, you're not going to have it figured out. None of us have it all figured out in any area, but we just keep going because we already started. That's the trick.
But you said to keep going. Mm-hmm. Right? I heard it this way. I don't remember who said it, but it's like physiology responds to consistency over time. I always say it doesn't discriminate. Mm-hmm. Right? If you have consistently bad habits, your physiology, your body is going to adapt to that. But physiology adapts to consistency over time. It responds to consistency over time. So you do have to consistently do that thing if you want to get the body to respond and adapt to that thing. But you're already doing it. You're just doing it in a way that's working against the health that you're saying you're going after. You just start.
Yeah. My big thing right now is progress over perfection. I just want to keep going. I don't care if it's perfect. I don't care if it's messy. I don't care if I screwed up. I don't care. Literally, I eliminated all of those self-limiting beliefs out of my brain.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, but I did it. And it's done. Okay, post it anyway. Okay, say this. Okay, eat that. Don't eat this. Show up here. Do this. Like, as long as I'm progressing and getting things done, I don't care that they're perfect. I can perfect them later. I can make them better later. But I just want to make sure that I'm getting them done now. That's kind of the era that I'm in my life right now.
Well, the thing is, how do you perfect something that you never started?
Yeah, you can't. It's okay to mess it up, too. You can mess it up a million times.
And by the time you think you perfected it, by the time you actually take action on it, you're going to realize either the market wanted something different or the reality of it is different than what you had in your mind. It's like, no, it needs to be viable. And then you got to take action on it consistently. And that's a lesson that during this evolution for me is continue to learn. Mm-hmm. Take action faster.
Take action faster.
Like, I'm more calculated. My dad was always really calculated. It's like, but that's the same thing that'll hold you back.
Yeah.
Right? Because by the time you try to perfect it, this person just went out there and wing it. They're like, this person knows less than you. I'm like, I know.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Perfectionism is just a fancy word for procrastination. That's all it is. It's just because if you're going to wait, huh?
So when you call it that, it always
does.
hurts.
And you should, because it stings and you don't want to be a procrastinator. Yeah. So when you mentally make that shift and you tell yourself that version of it in your mind, hopefully it lights a fire under your ass and you're like, okay, well, then I'm not going to keep obsessing over everything being perfect because it's holding me back because I'm not actually ever getting anything done and I'm just going to do it and progress. I'll figure the rest out later.
And the question becomes why. If somebody's procrastinating, it's why. Because sometimes we'll hide behind perfectionism, but it's like, well, are you just scared to be exposed? Mm-hmm. Like, social media wasn't a thing early in my career.
Are you happy about that?
Yes and no.
Yeah? What's your no?
I think it's confused the market more than anything else. So some of the greatest minds are the ones that were out just doing. Mm-hmm. And so it allowed other people to come along that don't really have the knowledge base to spew all this information to people that's not necessarily true or not necessarily helping them, but they were first to the market. Mm-hmm. So they got the lion's share of the market, and then the people that had their head down just doing the work look up, and it was like, oh, this whole thing has passed you by when it's gone that way, right? So it's created a lot more confusion for a lot of people. It's great. We have more information than ever. But if we have more information than ever, and we're still unhealthier than we've ever been, then do we have an information issue? And
yeah, it's information overload.
It's overload.
It's so distracting. Yeah. It's literally, I was just telling Will this morning when we woke up, I don't remember what we were talking about, but I said, if my branding and my businesses weren't built around social media, I would happily erase my accounts again because I've already done it once. All it does is stress me out. I don't like scrolling. I'm always being sold something. I'm always being told the same thing by 15 different people. It's just distracting. I don't want it to pop up. Like on my Feral account, the only things that I follow are other podcasts. Why? Because I'm a podcaster.
Yes.
I don't need to see anything else, but that's not how the algorithm works. The algorithm is going to serve you 50 ads from 50 different things all the time because that's the way that it works. That's what it's used for. But yes, it's a huge distraction.
And in terms of fitness, it's only going to feed you what's controversial. The algorithm only likes what's controversial.
Because that's how people communicate with the app.
Right. It doesn't want nuance. It doesn't want truth. Like if
It
I
wants
can tell you
engagement.
truth, engagement.
That's it.
So I'm sitting here telling people truths. If I said some of these things in a way that was really offensive, the algorithm would do well. Mm-hmm. But if I said it in a real kind way, which is more of my heart, hey, listen, I want to inspire you to do something. Algorithm doesn't care about your inspiration. Mm-hmm. It's like tell somebody to their face, you're fat and you're lazy. Do something about it. Great for the algorithm. Mm-hmm. But if you empathize while also trying to inspire, not great for the algorithm.
No, it's not. It's a bummer.
So that's where I'm like, it's a catch-22. I think it's just confused more people.
Yeah. No, it definitely has. Coming from me, who I was just telling you, I removed a bunch of accounts from my social media this morning. There was at least 50 fitness accounts that I don't even see pop up on my feed anymore they don't interact with me. I don't interact with them. And it's all like squats, girl fitness this, girl fitness, like all that. I'm like, what the hell is on my account? I don't even know what this is anymore. Yeah. But it's just that it's everywhere. And we look at me, for instance. Do you know how many podcasts are in the world now?
No.
4.4 million. Wow. People are like, don't get into certain markets because they're saturated. Real estate, this, that, the next thing. People, it's saturated. Don't listen to anything that's saturated. Fitness, for sure. Saturated.
Gosh, everybody says it's so saturated.
But you're doing it anyway, right? Yeah. And you've been doing it for 23 years consistently. Yes. So screw what anybody says about a saturated market. 4 million out of the 4.4 million podcasts, 4 million of them are active podcasts, which is even crazier. I thought that number would be a lot smaller. It's not. Wow. So talk about saturated, talk about distraction, talk about being competing. It's going to be everywhere. Social media,
100%.
Any kind of business, any fit, like it doesn't matter what you do. It's just now everything's out there all the time. So anything's up for the taking. But when you love something enough and you care about it and you're passionate, just keep going. Don't worry about being perfect. Just get started.
Get started. Mm-hmm. And
keep going.
Get the help you need.
Yes. Yeah, find a mentor that's already doing what you want to be doing. You'll get there way faster.
Or find the experts.
Yes.
Like, why do I need to be that great at social media if somebody else is already really good at that? Mm-hmm. If you will pay somebody to help you with the things, like that's what any really great business does. It's like they call it being in your zone of genius. Mm-hmm. If your zone of genius is this, all the time you spend trying to figure out how to do that is wasted.
Yep. Literally wasted time.
And we do it all the time. I'm guilty of it too. I got to get good at social media. You got to get good at this. You got to get good at being able to find really good people to do the things that you're not very good at. Because then they can get you the exposure that you need so that the people whose problems that you're trying to solve or can solve actually know you exist. There's plenty of people that don't know I exist. Mm-hmm. So then how can I solve the problem for the people that don't know I exist?
What a bummer. We're going to change that. We're going to change that on Feral. We're going to let everybody know exactly who Ed is and where he's at. So speaking of you're a father of 4 boys. What does a typical day in your house look like with 4 kids running around?
4 kids running around is always busy, put it that way. It's a lot of energy. Like once they get going, I go out, I train early, I get back, and the clock's ticking, it's rolling, especially summertime now where there's always a bunch of meals because 4 boys eat a lot. Right?
Oh, so my gosh.
It's breakfast, it's snacks, it's lunches, it's all those things that are happening all at the same time. And as they're getting older, you let go of some of those things. The older boys kind of manage what's going on with
That's nice.
Some of the younger boys, which is nice. But you're always on. Like, you have these individuals that you still need to take care of. You still have to look out for and make sure that they're well. And then their growth and development is really, really important to me. So you also have to be intentional. You can't just be passive and idly there. You actually have to be really intentional, which requires work and time. Like that's the part it requires work and time. It doesn't just happen. Even if they're in the same vicinity, it doesn't just happen. You have to be intentional with asking them questions, intentional with the conversations, intentional with whether it's discipline, intentional with growth, or you kind of just like ships passing by at some point where a lot of times guys get older and they're like, I don't know anything about my kids.
Yeah.
And that's where it gets sad because, I watched my dad, he got older and it was like, if that phone's not ringing, that can be tough.
Yeah.
Right? And so I've watched a lot of dads where the phones don't ring. Why do you call mom? Why do you call this person? And it's because they actually have a relationship. Right? And so I'm very intentional about that, making sure I have a relationship with my kids and understand who they are because I think it really matters.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. That's really inspiring to hear, too. I bet a lot of men listening and dads or dads that are soon to be will resonate with that and hopefully take your advice because I think it's important. I feel like a lot of people have daddy issues, not just girls, but guys, too. I feel like everybody I know has some sort of story. And I do have friends who have the best dads in the world. They're like, I have the best relationship with my dad. I don't know what I would do without him. So I do know that those people exist, but 9 times out of 10, I don't hear a great story about a father, which is a bummer. Not that they're bad people, but it's just
and it's hard. Listen, man, it's hard. Like, I'm not saying it's easy for any dads, but it matters.
Yeah, it matters.
Right, it matters. If you look at, I don't care if you look at prison or you look at all kinds of other daddy issues across the board. Like you just see it. It's a commonality, right? So it's not necessarily, it doesn't need to be everybody for it to be a commonality. And if you look at some of the common traits, there's daddy issues. And so you start to realize dads matter a lot.
They do.
Right? For more than just what we might think it is. And it's more complex now. Like my dad, the expectation of what he was as a dad was different than it is now. Like he was expected to be a provider or do this or do that, and that's where it ended. And now the expectations are a little bit different because we live in a slightly different society. So you are expected to help on some of the emotional sides and have, a lot to do with raising them at times in some capacity, right? And that's really important because if you outsource it now, then you never get any of the relationship back later on. Right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean you have to be there all the time, but you have to be intentional with the time
you do have. And what kind of boys are you raising? You work from home. They're homeschooled. What are your core values? What are you really trying to imprint on them at this young stage in their life?
Discipline.
Emotional
intelligence, because it's not necessarily something I understood. Like I was raised in football culture, like you, and I was also raised by dad who's Hispanic and in Jamaican culture and stuff. It was like, you toughen up, like period. That's what it was, right? So when you're raised in that, the emotional intelligence is like, what do you mean, like anger? Or you cry if you win a championship and everybody's happy. But outside of that, it's like emotions. You don't know very many emotions. You know anger and you know jubilance and joy. But you can't even describe some of the things in between, right? And so emotional intelligence sometimes will help you connect with who you are and where you are and what's going on in a way that if you don't have any emotional intelligence, you won't. You look at the suicide rates, it's highest amongst men, especially men that are well off, as a matter of fact, right? And so more times than not, it was like, I just didn't have a real friend where I could be really honest and vulnerable. And even if I did, do you even know how to express that? Right, so it's a combination of those things. And, I'm grateful because I have my brother. So I could hear down, like, we go have real, honest conversations. And we've been in the depths of some of the worst moments in life. But as long as he can call me and get to me, or as long as I can call him and get to him, all is right in the world by the time we finish with those conversations. And that's just, women always have that. But as men, we don't, right? Because men were constantly competing. Get after another, like, I'm the strongest guy in the room. Well, so it's this constant facade that you have to keep on, usually as a male, and there's not very many circles or points at which somebody can just be honest and vulnerable without also being looked at differently or ridiculed in some ways. So if you look at most of the circles for most men, it's surrounding whatever activity that we're really into. But if you listen to conversations, they're not vulnerable in any way. So then where do you do that?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yes, men should be more vulnerable. It's hard and it's scary. It's hard and scary for everybody, but
yeah, but
it's
vulnerable
important.
how and with who, right? It's always how and with who.
I think it's kind of, I mean, it's a question we all have to answer for ourselves, right? Like, who makes us feel that way, or who do we need to be vulnerable with? Not just because you feel comfortable being vulnerable with somebody doesn't necessarily mean that that's the person that you should or shouldn't do it with. Sometimes it's the hardest people to talk to that you need to be the most vulnerable with.
I can see that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the other part of it is everybody doesn't deserve that part of you. That most vulnerable part of you.
You are speaking my language today,
right?
Ed.
So that's what I mean. Even with men, it's like every male friend you have can't handle that.
No.
So if you don't have anybody around that can really handle that, then you never get a chance to lay it out on the table. It's not everything you can dump on your significant other, or your wife, or somebody else. Like, you can be vulnerable, but there's some things that you need to be vulnerable with a male when it comes to some of these things. You need to be vulnerable with your wife when it comes to these things. But you can't just dump everything on any one particular individual, especially if they're not built like that. Right?
Yeah.
And can you trust the advice they're going to give you in those moments?
Right.
Because what lens are they coming from when it comes to those things? Those are really touchy things. Like, I know if my brother says something to me in some really tough moments, I know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
I know the lens. I know the foundation of it.
Yeah. So teaching them vulnerability is up
Teaching
there
them vulnerability,
on the list.
teaching them to cherish their relationships as brothers, right? And the expectation that I have of them. I was like, and I told him the other day, like, your last name means something. Because I think we've lost sight of that sometimes in society. Like, my dad still says that. Like,
I love that.
the last name is Williams. And it's this unwritten thing. Like, my brother and I, like, if something's going on, hey, you're a Williams. That just means you're resilient. You get up. You don't lay down here. You don't be a victim. Like, that's what it means to be a Williams. And I want my kids to understand the same thing. What does it mean to be a Williams? What does your last name mean? I told my son he's got my name, my first son. EJ's Edward Jr. So your name means something.
Yeah.
And you're going to act like it means something. Because it should.
It should. It's yours.
should.
Own it. Wear it with
Right?
pride. We glorify putting other people's last names on our back, and it's fucking weird. Yeah. And I actually heard this on another podcast years ago. I started listening to The Married Game, so shout out to that podcast. They actually do that with their kids, and they have like a team, like all their friends in their neighborhood or like who they hang out with, and they all have their own jerseys with their own colors, and they all wear their own last name and their number on their backs. They don't wear other people's or other sports names or logos on their jerseys. They wear their own. Yeah. And they all have their different teams, and the teams are the families. And I'm obsessed with everything about that kind of culture.
Well, it's amazing because my kids would go out and do something, and I say, look, I don't care what they do. What's their last name?
Exactly.
What's your last name? You understand the standard and expectations. I'm not their dad. I am yours. Here's the standard and expectation. So I want them to understand the power of discipline, the power of sticking together with one another. Like, I have brothers. Yeah. And I'm like, no, when you have brothers, the world's going to be against you. Other people can be, but what you will not is you guys be against each other, right? So I really try to breed those things in them, like discipline. They train physically. They take care of their health. They take care of their bodies. Because essentially that's taking care of your mind.
Yes.
Right? And do
absolutely.
the hard things.
Yeah. And they're amazing. Obviously, our listeners don't get to meet them all, but they are amazing children. I have never met, and I've met a lot of cool kids, but they are something else. Like, these kids will literally walk up to you, shake your hand, look you in the eye, tell you who they are. They're just kind and they're so smart. They sit in the conference room and they build businesses and they're all under the age of 13. And I'm looking at myself like, what am I doing with my life? They're next level. Yeah, they're amazing children. So if nobody's told you lately, you are doing a fantastic job because they are fabulous in every single way.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If there's one thing that you would leave your boys with that you want them to remember about you forever once you're gone, not that that's going to happen anytime soon, but what would you want them to remember you for if it could be just one thing?
I love them.
Yeah.
Genuinely through and through.
Mm-hmm. That's good. I'm going to cry. So I'm going to change the subject. Yeah. So through the gray area of you going through this evolutionary period and with everything that we've discussed, how do you know, how did you find this period? How, like being in the gray area, how did you realize that you were outgrowing your old self?
Put yourself in new environments.
And you did. You moved to South Florida.
Yeah, put yourself in environments that stretch you. Mm-hmm. In a different way, because that's the only way you're going to grow is put yourself in environments that challenge you to grow. Mm-hmm. Right? It's easy to stay comfortable in certain environments, but until you stick yourself in an environment where, it's like a gym, right? If you go to a gym where you're the strongest person, there's no growth. Mm-mm. But as soon as you go to a gym where there's people stronger than you, now we can grow.
That's how I feel about my new gym. Yeah. Because you gave me the advice on what you gave me the advice on, but because I feel like I'm the smallest person in the room and the least fit and everybody's shredded and everybody's beautiful and all these things, that's why I signed up. Yeah. The energy was also really good. Everyone was kind. Everybody introduced themselves. The music was good. The energy just walking in the building was exactly what I need and want when I walk into a gym. But knowing that all these people are looking and acting and showing up at 6 a.m., 5 a.m., the way that I want to be, and they're doing it, that's how I knew I was in the right room.
Oh, 100%.
Like, where do I sign?
That's what people have to understand, right? Mm-hmm. Because that matters a lot.
It does.
I want to be in environments where people train.
Yeah.
They really train. Uh-huh. And not everybody can understand that. So I'm like, this environment is so wonderful. I'm like, yeah, it's really pretty. And nobody trains. That would drive me nuts because I want to be a little peculiar, but I don't want to be the only person that really trains that hard. And I've been in plenty of gyms where it's like, is that guy okay? Mm-hmm. I'm like, this is normal in my environments. It's abnormal in your environments because everybody's just here to work out and hang out. I'm here to train. This is what it looks like to train. So kudos to you because
thank you. That's
a big deal. Like going to a place where.
Yeah, well, and I think I caught a lot of flack from Will, but we all know Will on this show, because I am such an energy person, and I don't like negative energy. I don't like down. I'm also a weirdo about lighting. I love natural light. If I'm in a place that's dark and dim, and then you throw negative energy on it, why am I here? Nothing that I'm around resonates with me. What am I doing in this environment? Yeah. It's making me feel sad. Yeah. And it's 6 o'clock in the morning. I should not be stressed out to show up to my gym. 100%. I should be excited to be there and be surrounded by people who say hello and want to have a good workout 100%. And are looking better, doing better workouts than me, so I can learn something from them or whatever. But I'm a weirdo about shit like that. I really am. And he gives me a hard time.
Well, you should, because the thing is,
because not everybody's that way.
More times than not, people that are training and getting after it and really in shape, they're kinder than people think that they are.
That was the biggest surprise for me.
People just think,
the biggest surprise for me, which makes sense because when you're so in love with yourself in a positive way, not in a weird way, that you take care of who you are. When I shook all these people's hands that I've never met in my life, some of them are like literally famous Olympic trainers that people know that I'm like, I don't know who this person is, but you look fantastic. So kind. As where I would, if I wasn't introduced to them by somebody who worked at this gym, I would have never said hello. Yeah. They probably wouldn't have talked to me. I would have been way too intimidated to go introduce myself. But because they walked around and said, hey, this is so-and-so, this is so-and-so, meet so-and-so. And then you see these people light up like a Christmas tree. And they're like, hey, what's going on? Welcome. You should sign up. it totally changes that entire stigma around good-looking people or fitness people or strong people.
Yes.
It's all bullshit. They're all the coolest people in the room.
Yes.
And I'm like, where have you been my whole life?
They want to help you. They want to see you
do.
do. If you ever go to a gym where people really train, they want to help you. They want to see you succeed. They want to see you show up. And if you show up consistently, it's like they're not going to talk to you always the first time. But if you're like there consistently, and I remember being 16 and showed up, and all of a sudden the OGs in the gym are like,
What's
"Hey,
going
kid,
on?
How you doing, man? What's going on?" I remember that feeling. I was like, they talk to me, man. Like these guys, like, and then you're like one of them. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. They just like, you show up consistently, you work hard. Now they want to help you, right?
Yeah.
They just want to say, oh, he's going to be here and gone. They're like, this kid comes here at 6 a.m., trains hard, bothers nobody, and moves on. And slowly they started talking to me. And all of a sudden, they see you like, yo, there's not my guy there. What's up? Yeah. That's the kind of energy that you want to be around, people that want to see you succeed.
Yeah, 1,000%. What keeps you going when you're in this becoming phase? Is it your strength training? Is it your personal relationship with yourself? Is it your kids? What helps you? All of it.
All of it. But in the midst of it, you have to have some grounding habits. For me, training is my grounding habit.
Okay.
Like if I train, I can go take care of everything else. My kids and wife will tell you, if I don't train for a day, 2 days, 3 days, I'm not the person you necessarily want to be around, because you don't feel normal. You feel like you got to be able to do those things that are like those grounding habits there. So if I train and I'm training consistently, a lot of other really good things happen versus the other way around. I just won't feel like myself. It's like, what am I doing? I didn't train. I don't feel like that same strong guy. So it's part of it is that's the grounding habit. But what keeps me going is like the example that I'm trying to set for my kids, the example I'm trying to set for my wife. And then I want to be proud of the guy that I see in the mirror on a bunch of different fronts. Because it's easy to say, well, I'm a great guy, so you can excuse this. Like, no, you're always trying to excuse something. Why not just, I'm a great guy, sorry. I'm a great guy, period. Right? And so it's those kind of things that keep me going. Is like, I want to look at the guy in the mirror and say, well done.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. That's a great answer. I'm with you there. If there's someone, I'm sure there are, for the people who are listening, men and women, if they are feeling lost, like they've lost their power, what is a piece of advice you would like to leave them with?
If they've lost their power, wow, that's a great one. Start training. And the reason why I say, I know people like, I believe in it that much.
Yes.
And sometimes start training means go actually invest in a quality trainer and start training, right? Because that's what some people need to start. They're not going to go do it on their own. But I say start training because once you take action on doing that, you're going to learn so much about yourself. But you're also going to do something positive for your health that will allow you to think clearer. Because people are depressed sometimes because it's like, I got depressed because I wasn't doing much. I wasn't doing much because I was depressed. It's like, well, which one is it going to be? But just taking action and taking care of your physical body, you'll think clearer, you'll feel better, you'll be sharper. A lot of positive things will happen just from taking that one action that will help you build some momentum towards some of the other areas, right? Just, you have to have a grounding habit or something that gets you into action. And to me, it's the most powerful tool to use to actually get into action and start to do something positive for yourself, that the trickle-down effect is incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great advice. I like it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I ask everybody on the show what their death row meal is, and then you get to ask me anything that you want. So you'll be the host for a moment, and you get to ask a question.
Oh,
so
yes.
To start,
Yes.
death row meal, it's over for you. They're taking you out of the slammer and into death row. What is going to be your last meal? I'm actually excited to hear what yours is because you're such a fitness guy that I feel like you're going to eat the whole house. But I don't know. What's your last meal?
I'm going to have steak, lobster, eggs,
How do you want your eggs cooked?
Scrambled.
Scrambled,
medium. Yeah, steak,
Scrambled
medium rare. Lobster, not overcooked. Egg scrambled, medium rare, and carrot cake.
Ooh, carrot cake, a whole carrot cake? As much as you can eat of one?
As much as I can eat of a carrot cake.
So just bring the whole cake.
Just bring the cake. We'll see what goes down and move on from there. And I'm going to wash it down with Pellegrino or some kind of
sparkling
water.
So Pellegrino sparkling water is your water of choice?
That's my water of choice.
Yeah,
sparkling water.
Same. Yeah. It's like an unhealthy habit that I have. I'll grab a Pellegrino before I'll grab a regular water.
Yeah, I drink enough water with other things when I train and everything else. So if you give me a choice, mineral water or some kind of sparkling water, I'm happy. But that would be the meal. Oh, yeah, that would absolutely be the meal.
Is there any particular steakhouse you would be ordering from?
Oh, that's a good question. There's so many good steakhouses.
And there's so many bad ones, so we can't let them choose for you.
Wow.
In this imaginary land where I think that they're going to be flying shit in from Italy for me, so...
Yeah, with
like my espresso must come from Italy.
Forget just a restaurant. I want like an elk steak.
Ooh,
some kind of
from
game
Montana?
meat. Yeah, I want some elk. Give me an elk steak or something else that's real game meat. I could live on game meat.
Good to know.
I could live on game meat, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody said, what's one thing you could live on?
Game meat.
Excuse me, wild game meat.
Wild game meat.
Yeah.
I like it. Great choice. Amazing choices. Thank you for sharing. Now you get to be the host for a moment, and you get to ask me anything that you want.
All right. Host Ed, here we go.
Host Ed, in the house.
So.
Let's go.
All right, my first question for you is, why do you think this message of Farrell is so important right now for the world to know about, to hear about, and to take heed to?
I think that's a fabulous question, by the way. Farrell is so important to me because I feel like we mask ourselves to society. Nobody knows who we really are. And that's personal to me because I was one of those people that was hiding who I really was. And the truth is I really fucking like myself. I actually love myself a lot, but I was pretending not to, and I was pretending to be all these different versions of myself to make other people more comfortable around me, to make other people feel better about themselves. But it was making me feel so bad. And I didn't realize by doing that I had built my own cage, and I was stuck in there because I forced myself into that cage. So I had to break out of my cage, and to do that, I started this show so that I could show other people that they can break out of the cages that they built around themselves too. So, and being feral is just who I am. I put my foot in my mouth all the time. I'm loud, I'm obnoxious, I'm funny, I'm silly. Some days I'm quiet, some days I'm crazy. You don't know what's going to fly out of my mouth, but those are the best parts about me. And to be anybody but who I am would be a disservice to the world. It would be a letdown for me not to show who I am. And I feel that there's so many other people out there that are doing the same or that are the same. And I want to meet those people. I want them to be on this show. I want them to know that they can win in life just by showing up for themselves and just by being unapologetically authentic. So why not? Like, be your feral self, because the world's waiting for you. So just show up, you know? So that's why I started the show. And I started the show because I was actually challenging myself to be the most feral version of myself. So
that's awesome. Here's a nice follow-up.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what are people hiding behind or blocking them from showing up as their feral self, their most authentic selves?
There's a lot of things that block us from doing that, but I would say what other people think. I think fear of judgment or fear of other people's thoughts is a big one. It was for me too, especially fear of judgment, because I dealt with so much judgment growing up and going through all the phases of my life and the versions of myself that I was and that I'm not anymore. And we care way too much about what people think. And the truth is we have no idea what people think, but we obsess over it. We obsess over what we put on social media. We obsess over what we say, how we dress, where we hang out, where we vacation. Everything is for a freaking Instagram post. And that's crazy to me. And it's inauthentic. Most people are going because they're like, well, I need to take the picture in Cannes, France, because everybody's going there right now, which is just a publicity stunt, but you're falling for it and you're losing. But what if you really just want to go on vacation in Chicago? Who cares? Go to Chicago then. What's in Chicago? I don't know, but something's drawing you there, so go there. But everybody's just doing what everybody else is doing, and that's not being feral at all. That's falling in line. That's just putting the same mask on that everybody else put on so that you look the same. I don't want to be the same as anybody else. I like being different. So that fear of judgment and that overthinking of what the world thinks of you is just bullshit. It's just a trap. Stop caring what people think about you. Don't worry about the judgment, because when you start showing up for yourself and you start being your authentic self, you're telling the universe and you're telling the world, this is who I am. And then they start to serve you more people like you and people that resonate with you and people that you can impact and people that inspire you. And then your world just gets better. The grass just gets greener, but you're just watering your own grass. That's the trick. So don't water anybody else's grass. Just don't worry about the judgment and just focus on yourself. It's not selfish. It's just,
that's amazing.
It's who you are.
Now, would the unhealthy version of you really understood and known who you really are?
Would the unhealthy version of myself know and understand who I am? I'm trying to process the question.
Well, because some people are hiding, sometimes people are hiding behind clothes or hiding behind weight or hiding behind all these other things. And so in those moments, do you think that version of you would have known who you are? Because it is empowering to understand who you are. But is that a journey or is that just a knowing? Like, did you just know that, or was it a journey that took you through the process of understanding who you are authentically?
I think both. Okay. I think I've always known. I always had that fire.
Okay.
And I lost it. I watched my bonfire turn into a lighter flame.
Okay.
So I always knew. And then I watched myself turn into this version of who I wasn't. Right. And then that's where the journey began, was having that evolution like you have and looking myself in the mirror and being like, who the fuck are you? And who do you think you are? And why are you pretending to be somebody that you're not? Because you're so fabulous anyways. And anybody who doesn't think so shouldn't be around you anyway. So we have a lot of work to do. Okay. And that's where that journey began, where I was getting to know myself again and shedding the skin and taking off the masks and breaking out of the cage to say, this is who I really am. Take me or leave me. Love me or hate me. I don't care, but this is how I'm showing up because this is who I am.
Good for you.
Yeah.
And there's something about the shedding.
Yes.
That allows
there's
you to
layers
do that.
and layers and layers.
It's layers and layers.
It's like being a rock. If you're at the bottom of the ocean, the sand keeps going over you and over you and over you, and it builds all of these things. And it hides some of the most beautiful parts of a rock. That's why when you break it open and you see all these layers and all these colors and crystals and whatever, when you break open the rock, that's the layers. But you have to shed some of the layers to get to the pretty parts. That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you're like, and then people buy them and they put them on their mantle and you're like, what a beautiful crystal. And like, it took a long way to get there, but then you have to you got to shed stuff off in order to see the pretty parts.
That's it. Mm-hmm. I see fitness the same way.
Yeah.
There's a shedding that has to take place. And the depths of that shedding is just different for different people. But there is a shedding that needs to take place in order to really uncover who you really are from a personality. Because an unhealthy individual can't think straight, can't figure. So if you're a type 2 diabetic or you're really unhealthy, you can't even process and think the way that you should be thinking. So it does require a shedding to actually uncover the healthiest version of you who can now think like the healthiest version of you. And so that's amazing.
That's right.
Kudos
Thank
to you.
you. Thank you so much. Great questions. I really appreciate the questions. I don't think anybody's ever asked me any of those things before. So kudos to you for asking great questions.
Thank you. Peculiar.
Peculiar. That's what he is. That's his word. Ed is very peculiar. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I had such a good time with you. I learned so much about you and even about myself while sitting here with you. So I appreciate it. I hope you had as much fun as we did.
I had a blast.
Yeah?
Thank you for having me.
This
was absolutely amazing to answer those. I didn't know if I would cry. I was close once, and
me too.
Kind of made it through that.
You did.
The same one that got you. You almost got me with the same question. I was like, oh man, but I appreciate you asking me thoughtful questions that forced me to really think and give me a chance to express my thoughts, who I really am, and I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I'm glad that you could. You did an amazing job. So thank you for being vulnerable, and thank you for showing up for us on Feral today. We appreciate it. So where can our listeners find you after the show?
You can find me on Instagram as Big Ed Strength Academy. I will be getting on TikTok before she kills me with Feral.
Yes.
So I will be on there soon. I'll let you know what that is. But Big Ed Strength Academy is the easiest place to find me on social media, on Instagram. That's where I always am. That's where my content is. That's where I interact with people more times than others, and I'll be expanding past that, but that's the easiest place.
That's the easiest place to find him. Well, you guys know where to find me, but I'll repeat it for you. If you're new to the show, you guys can follow me at Savana_Montana. You can follow the show at Feral with Sav. If you guys have questions, comments, concerns, confessions, stories that you want to share, and they might just pop up on the show, please email them to me at feralwithsavannah@savannahmontana.com. Don't forget to like the show, give us 5 stars, like, follow, subscribe, all the things. And until next time, I will see you on Feral. In the meantime, stay feral. Bye, guys. Let me tell you who the fuck I think I am. You got a minute? Wow.